Good morning and welcome back to the Finca. I've not been for a couple of days, as you know all about Donkey by now. And I can't believe not being here for 2 days. I've just had a look around the garden and everything's just shooting up. It's just incredible. It's that time due for another update on the garden, so I thought, why not do it today? So join me on a tour of the garden shortly, but before we do that, I just wanted to update you on Donkey. He's with my friend at the moment until we can get his shelter built here, so he's in a safe place, and he's receiving the medical treatment that he needs today. So we'll know more later, but we'll update you on that tomorrow. Okay, let's get on with it. So as we're in the courtyard, we might as well start here. We've got our next lot of salads going on here. In fact, these are the medium salads, if you know what I mean. We planted these a few weeks ago. This is last month, the 16th of April, if you can read that date. You probably can't. We planted the last lot and they're all coming on. That's great. We still only have one strawberry. If you remember, recently we planted a load more strawberries because we only had one, and we still only have one, so I don't know what's going on with the strawberries. In this bed here we've got our parsley and basil, and obviously the mint still there. We keep taking chunks out of that because otherwise it takes over everything else. Then we've got our rosemary, which is growing wonderfully and smells gorgeous, and the cucumbers that we planted was last month, I think, middle of last month. We tried growing peas up here but had no success whatsoever, so we decided to put some cucumbers in, and they're looking okay. I think they need a bit of a drink this morning. It's a hot day. Some of them are looking a bit floppy, but yeah, pleased with those. And up here we've got our next lot of onions, but they're not doing particularly well. Maybe it's too late for them now, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just keep them going, keep watering them, see what happens. So these are our peppers. You saw me planting out the little ones from the seed trays a couple of weeks ago. They're doing okay. These are the ones we brought from where we're living at the moment that we overwintered. He's looking all right. Needs to get a bit bigger, but they're doing really well. They seem to like it on the front of the house here, get lots of sunshine. What else have we got? This is our lemon tree. We're trying to grow from pips, actually, lemon pips. We just threw a load in a pot last year, and this one popped up. So he's looking a bit yellow, but we have had a lot of rain again recently, so I'm sure he'll be fine. He's strong though, it's sturdy. And our vines, I don't know whether you can remember from the last video, he was about there, and this is all the growth in just 1 month. Absolutely amazing. These are the tomatoes that we got left over in the seed tray. We thought, well, we might as well plant them out. We started them off in these small pots, and then again a couple of weeks ago I put them into larger pots, and look what's happened. They're absolutely incredible. We've got some flowers on here, so I'm hoping we're going to get some tomatoes soon. These are the I've got to think of the word now, artichokes in English. Again, we're in the seed tray a couple of weeks ago, and we just planted them out into pots, and they're doing fine. They're nearly ready for going in the ground. And this is the most exciting pot for me because I love ginger. We have planted some ginger ages ago, I can't even remember, and absolutely nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, because the weather's turned really warm now, they popped up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exciting. Our little raspberry bush, he's coming on nicely as well. Got new shoot here. We've got lots of raspberries coming. It's not bad for a new plant. Bit of scorching on the leaves, but that's fine. No problem. A bit like the ginger, we planted 75 asparagus seeds way back, March, early March, and absolutely nothing happened. We did have a few down at the other end that we started off in a seed tray, and they were okay, but then we had that horrendous storm, and although they did survive, they didn't seem to be doing much. And now, all of a sudden, I've not counted them, but I bet it's not far off 75, to be honest. Oh, I'm absolutely thrilled about that. Fantastic. So in our first raised bed, we've got the carrots and the leeks. We've been picking carrots now on a weekly basis for quite a while, and they're absolutely delicious. They taste like a carrot, if you know what I mean, because some of the shop ones really don't have a lot of taste. And our leeks didn't seem to be doing anything, but now all of a sudden, they're doing absolutely amazingly. So I'm hoping we'll be having some leeks soon. Second bed, we've got the garlic and some more onions. The garlic, if you remember, we planted on the shortest day and we should be harvesting on the longest day. We've had a bit of a dig around and we've definitely got garlic there, so that's brilliant because we love garlic. The onions, not doing so well. Maybe it's just too hot for them now. As I say, the ones we've got in the seed tray in the courtyard are not looking so good either. But I can show you some brilliant specimens of onions over the other side here shortly. And in our third bed we've got the salads, which have just gone mad since we had that last rain in the week. They've just all shot, and you can see they're going to seed. Just can't eat them quick enough. They took forever to grow, and then typically all grew at the same time. We've been picking them again every couple of days. We just can't eat it all, so that's a real shame. But we've got some more ongoing in the courtyard, as you've seen, and we've also got some that we planted out of that second seed tray on middle of last month, and they're starting to come on now, so all is not lost. And these are our brassicas. You may remember me weeding all around here in the week. That was a bit of a mammoth task, but absolutely fantastic. They're just growing inches every day, and in fact, if you can see that, we've got our first little broccoli forming. Fantastic. Over to the potatoes. Our King Edwards are doing okay. They're starting to go a little bit yellow. They should be ready about August, so it's quite early. But we're going to just leave them in the ground, and as we have in fact with the first earlies, the Maris bards, they died off a couple of weeks ago now, but we don't need them at the moment. We can't eat them all, so we hear that it's okay to just leave them in the ground. Obviously don't water them anymore because we don't want them to rot, and just pick them up as we need them. So I'm going to pick some for dinner. Let's have a look what we've got. Oh, it was quite tough. Dig deep. I should have had gloves on really. I'm going to have filthy nails. Never mind. I'm used to that. I'm either covered in paint or covered in mud. Is that it? It's not many. I can't feel any more. Oh, maybe that's it then. So that's it. A little bit disappointing just off that one plant, but the other plants that we've been picking, drops one, we've had a lot more. Over to the courgettes. They're doing really well. We've got a nice one there, look. Look at that specimen. Lovely. And another one somewhere here, another one there. So pleased with those. So I mentioned that our onions in the raised bed were not doing so well, but maybe we planted them too late. These are the ones we planted in September. They're supposed to take 4 to 5 months. They're still not ready. We know that because they're still producing leaves. What happens when they're ready is the leaves will just go brown and flop over, and then it's time, and then the goodness goes into the bulb, and that's when they're ready for picking. You can see it's starting to form there, but they're still small, so goodness knows when they'll be ready. The longest growing onions in the world. These are our tomatoes that were caught in that dreadful storm not long after they'd been put into the ground, so I was really worried about them, but they're doing absolutely brilliantly. On the left we've got regular tomatoes and the cherry tomatoes on the right. Yep, lots of flowers, so hopefully lots of tomatoes to look forward to there. And the last bed is the peppers that we grew in a seed tray and transplanted, and again they got hit with the storm pretty badly, so this one at the end's doing okay, but the rest don't seem to be doing much at all. But never mind, thankfully we've got those at the front of the house that we overwintered that will hopefully produce some fruit for us. And finally the beetroot. It was doing absolutely brilliantly, and now it's just stopped. It's not growing at all. It's not dead, but it's not growing, and we think maybe we planted them too late. We planted these in February. These were grown in a seed tray first of all, and this lot straight into the ground, but I think it's too late. I think we should have planted them earlier. We did what it said on the packet, but yeah, we need to try again next year with those. On to the orchard now. We did have some apricots, but the frost, we had a late frost this year and that killed them, so they fell off, died. The same with the plums. No, that's not plums, that is cherries. This area have lost 60 million euros worth of cherries this year because of the adverse weather. So that's a lot of money. I'm sure we'll find cherries are very expensive in the supermarket this year. But we do have 4 little peaches. Can you see those? So hopefully they will grow a bit bigger and we'll be sharing them 2 each, Andy. The other fruit trees, they're ticking along, but they're not producing anything this year. I guess they're only 2 years old, so I think it's about 5 years normally to get a good harvest on your fruit. But our little pomegranate, which was the last one to go in, is doing really well. I just hope it's strong enough to hold the fruit as it gets bigger. There's lots of ants on it there, get off. Yeah, but look at that, it's beautiful. And finally, the melons. You can remember again from the storm, if you saw the video, that the ones that we put into the seed tray and then into pots and then into the ground all got destroyed in one day. So we put some straight into the earth and they're doing really well. You see, we've actually got 3 there, that one's hiding. But we should separate them according to the instructions on the packet. But we found with our carrots, if we just leave them, they just push each other out the way and they still grow. So rather than disturb them again, we're going to leave them and see what happens. So that's it for the garden update. Next one next month, end of June, beginning of July. Back in the courtyard with my coffee, and then I'm going to crack on and do some work. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. As I say, we'll update you tomorrow on the donkey once I've heard from the vet and the farrier. Yeah, thanks for watching as always. Brilliant, thank you.